Hi, I'm Katie Farrell with Dashing Dish, and at Dashing Dish, I'm all about teaching you how to nourish not only your body, but your soul as well. Today, we're gonna make a really quick and simple breakfast recipe, which is my 25-minute everything bagels. Now, you can make these bagels and you can have them for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, or for a snack. They're really great any time of day, and they toast up really well, really good as well. So that's always a great thing if you want to make a sandwich or you want to do something different with a bagel. Now, this is really a simple recipe. I just use about 5 ingredients. To start, I use some old-fashioned oat flour, and I just make my own. I use old-fashioned oats, grind it in a blender or food processor until it reaches a flour. But you can also buy your own, and it's in most grocery stores now, right in the baking aisle. And this is a bag that I got off of a website. But you could get them in almost any grocery store, and you can use either oat flour or almond flour for this recipe. So if you can't have grains at all, then you could use almond flour. And then I'm going to add just some baking soda and powder and some salt. Make sure I get all that out of there. And I just do all my dry ingredients in a bowl first. I mix it up and then I add my wet ingredients, and that saves you from getting a bowl dirty. And like I said, you can make these bagels for really any time of day. I like to make them in advance, let them cool completely, and then freeze them. And then I pull them out of my freezer whenever I'm having a really busy morning or even a weeknight, and I just want to make a quick and easy, healthy meal. These are also great to do with any other flavor or variety that you like with bagels. So if you like everything bagels, I'll show you what I use for this recipe. But if you like cinnamon bagels, you could do some cinnamon on these. I'm going to add 2 eggs and some plain Greek yogurt there to the bowl for our wet ingredients. So you can see how simple these are. You could do sesame bagels, really any kind that you like. You could just change up the topping for these bagels. So plain Greek yogurt, eggs, oat flour, some salt, and then baking soda and baking powder. That's all that I added to this bowl. And then you'll see that it comes together to kind of make a dough consistency here once we stir it enough. And then once it gets to the point that you can work it like a dough, then you'll know it's ready to actually form into bagels. And you can either do this right on your baking pan that I lined with parchment paper here, or you can do it on a floured surface. And just for the flour, I use old-fashioned oats as well, just to flour the surface, really for any of my recipes. In fact, I don't even think I own white flour at my house. So old-fashioned oats is a great thing to have on hand, like I said, because you can make oat flour out of it. And oat flour you can swap in almost any recipe, just like you would regular flour. It swaps out great. And it's way more nutritious for you because it's made of whole grain oats, so it has a good source of fiber and protein, and we know that they're really heart healthy as well. So I'm going to add just a little bit of oat flour, just like you would for any dough, just to get it so that it's not sticky at all. And we might use a little more just to kind of roll it out. But just like any dough, you might want to add just a little bit extra to kind of get it to the point where it's workable. So then once we've got it to that point, we're going to just put it on, like I said, either a floured surface or some parchment paper. I like to do parchment just to keep my surface clean as possible. Although I'm kind of learning to throw that out the window because now I have an 18-month-old who likes to stir things. And so I get her in the kitchen with me whenever I can. And so I'm learning not to be so picky about flour going everywhere and crumbs being on the floor and all of that. Letting go of control a little bit, but I like to keep things kind of tidy in the kitchen when I can. So I'm adding just a little bit more oat flour here on top. And you'll want to kind of just work it as much as you can until it's not sticky anymore. My yogurt was not cold, so just like any dough, you want to kind of get a cold dairy that you add to a dough, and that'll help it to not be so sticky. So we might have to add quite a bit of oat flour here, just so that it's not sticking on us. But we'll get there and we'll get it workable. You just want it to be like almost like a cookie dough. And then that's how you know it's ready to go into your bagels. And this, like I said, is such an easy recipe. I mean, really, you can do it with kids. and you can put your own spin on it. And I find that it's really good to have a breakfast that's ready for me in the morning, especially because mornings tend to be my busiest time of day. And whenever it comes to meal planning, I always tell, especially other moms, but really anybody that is trying to eat healthier, a really good way to do so is to have meals and things on hand, whether it's in your freezer or in your fridge, that are quick go-tos, because a lot of times we just get busy with life, right? And so when we get busy, we just think, I don't have time to make a meal, I don't have time to eat healthy, or we get takeout, or we do something fast in a box. And there's not anything wrong with that from time to time, but if we have something on hand that's a healthy staple, then that will ensure that we don't run to a quick fix and we actually have something that is healthy and nourishing to our bodies. So you can see that this flour, the oat flour, kind of helped get it to more of a dough consistency. We're going to have some messy hands here, but that's okay. And then I'm going to roll it kind of into balls. And the more that you get the oat flour kind of incorporated, the less sticky it will be also on your hands. And you can see how it's forming a nice ball here. So when it comes to mornings, like I said, that's my busy time of day. So I do meal prep as best as I can for my busy times of day. So for me, having these bagels on hand is a lifesaver in the mornings, you know, especially because I like to save as much time as I can in the mornings so that I can spend some quality and some quiet time with the Lord, and also moving my body. I try to do that. I try to at least move my body in some way, you know, whether it's going to an exercise class or even doing a quick workout in my basement. Really all you need is your body weight, and just put on some music and dance around your house, get moving, and you'll feel so much better and energized throughout the rest of your day. And also spending that quiet time, I like to, even though I wasn't a morning person for so many years, I actually set my alarm and started to wake up early and spend that quality time with the Lord. And now I can see how it's even more important, now that I have a little one running around, to really get up early and to make that a priority, because when I rise early and the house is quiet, I can spend such better quality time really allowing the Lord to strengthen me and guide me throughout the rest of my day when I spend my mornings with Him. So having a quick go-to healthy breakfast that also tastes delicious and nourishes my body is really good to have on hand. So these aren't perfect, but you get the point about, you know, how the balls should look. And so once you have these balls that are kind of rolled on your parchment pan here, then what you'll want to do is you want to just take your finger and kind of form a hole in the center of the bagel. And that's all you have to do in order to make them. And then once you get them kind of in the bagel shape that you want them to, and you could even do like donut holes, or bagel holes. So you're kind of just doing the little balls, if that's easier for, say, your kids to eat. So once you have them in the shape and the kind of texture and consistency that you want them, then you just sprinkle them with your seasoning. Now, I use an everything bagel seasoning, and this one I got from Trader Joe's, but you can find them online. You can even make your own bagel seasoning, and all you have to do is you have to just mix together some sesame seeds, some salt, you know, just a few different spices and ingredients to make some bagel seasoning. And it absolutely tastes delicious, not only on these bagels, but also on eggs or anything else that you want to sprinkle it on. So don't mind my very messy hands. I'm definitely in need of a good hand washing right now. And the nurse in me is just cringing about it. But like I said, I'm trying to just let go of that. And so we're going to just sprinkle it on top. And then all you do is you just do an egg wash. So you just beat an egg, put it on top of that bagel there, and then just bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. And you can see the finished product here is absolutely beautiful. And like I said, they freeze well, they slice up well, they taste delicious. The texture is just like you would expect from a bagel, soft and chewy on the inside, and then nice and crisp when you toast it on the outside. So try this recipe, and for more just like it, you can head over to dashanddish.com or ctvn.org.